Question number 4, the Honourable Shane Jones.
Speaker, to the Prime Minister, does he have confidence in his ministers?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
A supplementary
Speaker,
question, the Honourable Shane
has he
Jones.
advised Minister Joyce to inform Chorus that they have taken their own financial risk and parking up dividends to their owners and managing their own debt is a better option rather than fabricating to the market a possible insolvency, thus hoping to get corporate welfare from the Minister of Economic Development?
Order. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware of any conversations that Minister Joyce has had with Chorus. In fact, I'm now very recently advised that he hasn't had any conversations with Chorus. But what I can say for the benefit of the member, if he's interested, is that the government is now assessing the situation. It's not a matter of whether there's corporate welfare or otherwise. The government's committed to the long-term build of UFB, and in the course of time, the government will assess all of the options available to it and decide what the next course of action is.
Supplementary question, Claire Curran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Why is he, his former Minister Stephen Joyce and his current Minister of Communications and IT, Amy Adams, so surprised at the Commerce Commission's decision to drop the copper price, given that Stephen Joyce's 2011 telco legislation clearly stated there would be a 3-year moratorium before the move to a cost-plus model for wholesale copper pricing, which the Commerce Commission is now implementing, and that Chorus's first prospectus clearly stated this as a risk, as did the regulatory impact statement for the government's only 2011 law.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, gosh, the member's a long way back these days.
Order.
Sorry, I was just...
Order.
Just assessing.
Point of order. Order. This is a point of order and it will be heard in silence.
Mr. Speaker, that was a very direct question about policy, and the Prime Minister, in an earlier answer today, you ruled him out of order, and he then repeated the very thing you had ruled him out of order for in an answer that follows. I ask you to make sure the Prime Minister adheres to standing orders.
And I will certainly do my best to make sure the Prime Minister adheres to standing orders. His start of the answer was unsatisfactory. I told the Prime Minister so. The question has now been asked, and I invite the Prime Minister to answer it.
But, Mr. Speaker, firstly, I think it's very fair to say that no one back in 2011 actually predicted that there would be such a dramatic fall in copper prices. In fact, my understanding is the member believed that copper prices would go up, not actually go down. So that has certainly caught the market by surprise. There were many analysts who looked at the situation as a result of the legislation that was brought in, and in fact that the contract that Chorus signed, and not one analyst actually noted that this was a significant likelihood that there would be such a dramatic decrease in the copper price.
Point of order, Claire Curran.
I seek leave to table page 204 of Chorus's first prospectus, which clearly sets out its awareness of the risks of a drop in copper prices.
We don't need any more description. I just want to make it clear, is that document clearly available if members want it? On the bay? I think members have the ability to access that if they want it. Further supplementaries? Supplementary question, Claire Curran.
To the Prime Minister, can he assure this House that neither Stephen Joyce nor his ministry provided any kind of guarantee at the demerger of Telecom that has led Chorus to believe that its profitability would not be adversely affected by the legislated move to cost-plus UBA pricing?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my advice is the Minister made no such assurance.
Supplementary question, Claire Curran.
Well, in light of the statement by Chorus yesterday that it would, quote, discuss with the Crown whether it was still a credible UFB partner in the way intended at demerger, end quote, does he believe that all parties tendering on the UFB contract did so on an equal footing? And if they didn't, will he sack Stephen Joyce as the minister responsible for that debacle?
Right, Honourable Prime
Speaker,
Minister.
this will come as a huge disappointment to the member, but no, I won't be sacking Stephen Joyce anytime soon. Mr. Speaker, it's very important to understand.
Order.
Yeah, anytime soon. Oh, I'm feeling good about it. Mr. Speaker.
Order. The Prime Minister now has a right to answer the question. Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what the member is clearly demonstrating is that she is not committed to the rollout of ultra-fast broadband. And I really look forward...
Point of order, Claire Curran.
Mr. Speaker, that was a very precise question.
Order. Order. It wasn't a very precise question. It was quite a long question that included a comment around whether a minister would retain his job or not. Supplementary question, Honourable Shane Jones.
Mr. Speaker, when Minister Joyce told Parliament these new broadband networks will provide an economic step change as we leapfrog more of our competitors, did he add we will probably need to bail out a share market company and twist the regulatory framework of the Commerce Commission?
Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, well, I think it's first very important to understand there's no bailout taking place. What there is the government has a strong commitment to ultra-fast broadband. The government now has to look at the implications for the ultra-fast broadband program as a result of the Commerce Commission's ruling. Now, if the member is basically telling New Zealanders that he doesn't support the rollout of ultra-fast broadband, that's going to be a great discussion to have in 2014.
Supplementary question. Supplementary question, Honourable.
Can the Prime Minister assure this House that neither he or Mr Fixit will bail out this share market?
Order. Can I ask the member to rephrase his question?
Can the Prime Minister and multi-millionaire former businessman Minister Joyce...
Order. I now invite the member to ask a question in line with standing orders, and if he does not do so this time, we'll be moving on. Order. Honourable Shane Jones.
To the Prime Minister. Can the Prime Minister and the Minister of Economic Development assure or guarantee this House his government will not bail out this share market company, rather will enforce the contract and not give in to their protestations for corporate welfare?
Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, what I can say is it's highly likely the Minister of ICT will have a little more to say about this tomorrow. What she's likely to be able to give an indication is how the government will try and understand fully now the ruling from the Commerce Commission and what are the possible alternatives and options available. But the government is committed to UFB. And the interesting thing with ultra-fast broadband is it's going to be rolled out both through the Rural Broadband Initiative and with fibre up in that member's part of the world, which happens to be one of the few parts of New Zealand that's actually not economically going ahead at the rate the government wants. And actually, I just wonder next year whether that member will be strutting his stuff, telling the good people of Northland they don't deserve ultra-fast broadband. If they vote Labour, they'll be on old technology.
Point of order.
Point of order.
My area is not actually in the grid that's going to get this broadband outreach.
And that is not even remotely accurate as a point of order. Question number 5, Honourable Peter Dunn.